Once again, my name is Michael Cadleb. Email address is michaelk@kqc.ca if you have any questions following today's presentation. We will also be answering questions sort of in line today as we go through. So please post your questions in the question panel, and we'll get to those throughout the session. And if for some reason we run out of time, we will definitely reply via email to any unanswered questions. So just to give you a little bit of agenda of what we're going to talk about today, I'm going to present what's new in ACT version 19, and then James Young is going to give you a little demo on ACT for Wealth, one of our homegrown products. And then to finish up today, Victor Cron is going to talk about Handhel Contact, so being able to access your ACT data on your mobile devices. So let's take a look at what's new in ACT version 19. First of all, the one main thing they've done is make it compatible with 64-bit Office products. In the past, prior to version 19, ACT was not compatible with any of the Office 64-bit products. So Outlook, Word, Excel, if you wanted to merge any data with those or synchronize data, if you had 64-bit Office, it would not work. Okay, so now version 19 and moving forward allows you to integrate your ACT with your Word, Outlook, and Excel in 64-bit mode. Other features that have been added, performance and campaign management improvements to the ACT e-marketing piece. And this is going to allow you to work even more efficiently. So for those of you who are heavily into the e-marketing piece of ACT, you're going to love these new features. You're going to be able to send things much faster, I believe up to 5 times faster than you have in the past, and just other improvements that are going to make your life much easier when doing your marketing. And then other sort of customer-driven feature enhancements that are going to make ACT easier to use for you. So a lot of these were taken from the ACT website, where people are allowed to share their feedback and share their ideas as far as how they want to improve the ACT. ACT and SwiftPage are listening to both the consultants and also the ACT users of the world to make their product better each year. Okay, so let's sort of just talk about the compatibility updates. So once again, the Microsoft product line, you can now have that 64-bit on your computer and have it work with your ACT database. So that includes the Outlook as far as like integrating emails with ACT, and then also the synchronization if you wanted to synchronize your contacts and or calendars from ACT and Outlook. Then Word, so any kind of mail merging that you would do to Word, that's going to work. And then with Excel, if you want to do any kind of exporting of list views, so whether it be your contact list view, your company list view, or your opportunity list view, those will all be able to export to your Excel 64-bit Office. So now let's talk about ACT e-marketing improvements that have happened. So as I mentioned, you're going to be able to send your e-marketing campaigns up to 5 times faster than you have in the past. So not only does this reduce the time it takes to send those campaigns, but it's also going to ensure that the larger campaigns send successfully. I apologize for that. Disconnection. Hold on 1 second here. Let me fix that. Okay, sorry about that. A little snafu on our end. Okay, so as I mentioned, so it's going to ensure that your large campaigns are sent successfully. A couple other improvements that have been made. We're going to be able to get instant feedback from your service, okay, before sending the email campaigns. And we'll show you in the next slide here what that means. We're going to be able to quickly and easily see the email campaign history for any given contact. And then we're not going to have to worry about accidentally accidental sends, you're going to get actually a confirmation dialog to make sure you're ready to send the email campaign. Once again, I apologize for this. I'm not sure why we keep getting disconnected here. Bear with me 1 minute, and I'll reconnect us. Okay. Okay, as I mentioned, so we're going to have that confirmation for you. Okay, so we're going to be able to see live details about the contact limit, the usage for the month, and also new recipients. So in the past, you didn't get this monthly contact limit shown to you right here in this when you're sending the email campaign. Now you're going to be able to see that limit, and then also how many contacts are in the campaign and how many are new recipients. Okay, so once again, some added new features here that give you sort of more efficiency when sending these email campaigns out. In addition, your campaign history is going to overwrite and create and update one history entry. So instead of creating multiple entries, it's going to overwrite and modify the history entry for that contact that you have sent the e-marketings to. So furthermore, we get the confirmation dialog to make sure you're ready to send the campaign. This sort of eliminates, once again, that sort of accidental send where you send it without seeing it. And let me go back here. I'm understanding that we're not, people aren't seeing the screens here. Let me make sure we're seeing it here. I think now we should be able to see it. So let me go back a couple screens here. Here we are. Once again, sorry about that. Okay, so just so you guys can see the screens what I was talking about, we're going to be able to see live details about the contact limit, the usage this month, and also any new recipients. Okay, so right here in this box here, when you're doing the send campaign, you'll see the monthly contact limit, how many are remaining that month, and then also how many contacts are in that campaign and how many new recipients. You're going to see your campaign history, and once again, that's going to put it into one history entry onto the contacts that you're sending the marketings to. And then also the confirmation dialog, you're going to be able to make sure that you're not sending out these accidental emails. So it'll give you sort of an extra, almost sort of like when you're deleting a contact, you sort of have that extra layer. Do you want to delete this contact? In this case with the marketing, are you sure you want to send this campaign before you send out your campaign to thousands of people and you really only want to send it to maybe a smaller group of people? Okay. So next we'll talk about some customer-driven enhancements. So you're going to be getting, when you get v19, you'll have 30+ refresh standard reports. That's going to help you get some more information more quickly. And what I mean by that is, so you have pre-canned reports in ACT, and you can also obviously customize those as you use those. With v19, they've sort of enhanced some of these reports, and we'll show you a couple samples in a few minutes here of what they've done with some of those reports. But once again, you'll still have the same customization that you'll be able to do with those, and it's not going to overwrite any of your existing reports. So if you've already customized reports on your end, don't worry. The new reports are not going to overwrite those. They'll just be in addition to those customized reports that you currently have. User functionality in ACT Premium for Web and ACT Premium Cloud that was previously only available in Windows. One such feature is the availability to scan for duplicates and then merge those duplicates. And in a few minutes here, I'll actually show you how we can do that as well. And then finally, just benefiting from Swift Pages and our ongoing commitment for usability with hundreds of quality updates as the product moves along in its features. So they've already had 3 updates since it got released, just to sort of fix any minor flaws and also enhance the product as it's been released. And throughout the year, they'll be releasing more updates as well. So with regards to the reports, these are some of the reports here. So for example, here's an example of activities with rollover days. So when you create an activity, and if you haven't completed the activity, you have the ability to allow it to roll over. Well, you may want to, as a sales manager or maybe even a support manager, you may want to check on your the people working for you to see how many days certain calls or certain meetings have rolled over, because it's on today's calendar, but maybe it's been rolling over for a month, 2 months, 3 months. In this case, here's one, 251 days. So you may want to get with your salespeople and say, well, why has this call been rolled over so many times? Why haven't you gotten to it yet? So it's a good way to sort of a good checks and balances here. The new reports are going to have the REP2 file extension. So the original reports were just REP. So any of the REP2 are going to be the new report file extensions. So it makes it very easily to distinguish them from your old reports that you had. With regards to the web, once again, they've added the ability to scan for duplicates and also merge the duplicates right within the web interface instead of having to do it on the desktop version itself. Furthermore, they've added the ability to modify the layout. Modifying the layout is just adding another layer within the layout editor on the web, where you have the ability to sort of align things, change font sizes, colors, bold, italics, underline, where that wasn't available previously. And then as far as people who are subscribers, you get some exclusive benefits. Okay. So you get access to Premium v19 and benefit from all the customer successes and connections that can maximize your subscription value. Okay. New featured tours, the mobile app, the Premium Contact Link, and other integrations to other business tools that you can also use with Connect. So what's new since your version? Okay. Everybody on this call is probably maybe on a different version. Okay. So here's what's new since your version, and we're going to make this slide deck available to everybody after it. We're going to send out an email tomorrow with the slide deck and also the recording of the of this webinar. So you don't have to jot down these notes right now. We'll be able to send these out so you can review this, but just sort of give you just a sort of a quick synopsis of what's improved over each version, whether you're on v18, v17, v16. If any of you are on versions even older than that, you can email me directly and I can sort of work up a chart similar to this to let you know what's actually improved since, maybe one of your older versions that you're on, okay? Any features that have come since then. Okay, so that's it for the PowerPoint, but let me show you a couple, I wanted to show you the merging of contacts via the web. So I'm going to be logged into the web here. Let me just sort of show you how that works. So when you're logged into your web database and you go to Tools, there's going to be an option here, Scan for Duplicates. And by default, it's going to take your default duplicate checking settings. So whatever you have in your database, most people either have company contact and phone, company contact and address, or company contact and email. So there's no right or wrong way as far as what fields you have there. It's typically going to be the 3 fields that are most uniquely identify your contacts. So I like to use company contact and email. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And ACT is telling me there's duplicate contacts that have been found. Would I like to start combining them? I'm going to click yes. And as I see in the background here, I have Bobby T in here twice from Vandalay Construction. And as I'm looking at that, the one has a phone number and a title, but it doesn't have, the other one does not. But the other one might have vital information on notes or histories or a website field or whatever. So I want to make sure that those two get combined, and then I delete the extra one. So I click Next to start moving the data. And as you just sort of read through this wizard, it'll tell you exactly what to do. So you're going to click one record, press and hold the Control key, and click the second record. And then here's where you choose where you want to copy, either copy contact 1 to 2 or copy 2 to 1. So typically what I do is I find the one that has more information, and that's going to be my target. Okay. So in this case, it looks like that has the phone number that's going to have a little bit more information. And then in this section, this is where I'm going to say, okay, if there's something in the source contact that I need to copy over that may not be in the target, such as the website. So I click in that field and hit the copy button, and that data copies over. I scroll through, and it looks like that was the only field data that was missing. Everything else looks good. And then, 99% of the time, you're going to want to leave all these boxes checked. So you're going to get your notes, your histories, your activities, your opportunities, secondary contacts, and also documents to transfer from one contact to the other. And then once that's done, it just confirms that you want to delete the source record. You can keep it, but the whole purpose of this is to sort of keep your database optimal and get rid of those duplicates. So you're going to, yes, delete the source record. And once again, it sort of gives you a reminder, cannot be undone. Would you like to continue? Okay. And then finish. And then once the screen refreshes, we should only see one in the background there. And there we go. And there's the one contact after the merge. So once again, previous to version 19, that was only doable through the desktop version. Okay. And then real quick, just want to show you the reports. So as I mentioned, the extension, when you go to the report section, the extension, REP, those are the old reports. The REP2, those are new reports. Okay. And then to run them, you do, there's no difference in how you run them. It's the same way. You highlight it, hit the run report option. Let's just get maybe all data here so we can get some good output. Okay, so there's your activity report with rollover days. This particular database doesn't have many of the days rolled over, but you get the point here, and we also showed you that screenshot before, which would have that data in those fields. Okay, what I'd like to do now is just sort of go to the questions that we have for V19 before passing this on to James for his Act for Wealth. Okay. So I have about 5,000 contacts and a 500-hour limit with Verizon. Should I worry or act regulated? Paul, I'm not sure what that question really means, so maybe if you want to email me offline about that. I'm going to post my email up here again on the screen so you guys can see it. If you want to email that to me, Paul, I can maybe answer that better for you. Here's a question. Does MS Office still need to be installed prior to ACT installation, or can Office be upgraded or installed after ACT is already up and running? Typically, Office needs to be installed prior to ACT installation. So if you ever have any troubles with the link between the two programs, if it's not integrated properly, we typically would suggest uninstalling both programs. And it doesn't matter which one you uninstall first. That process doesn't matter. But once they're both installed, you want to install Office first and then ACT. If you install ACT first and then Office, it's not going to work properly for you. Okay, how does ACT e-marketing compare with Constant Contact? One of the main differences is that the ACT e-marketing is built into the ACT product. So for Constant Contact, what you would need to do for that is take your group of contacts that you want to email, export it to Excel, clean it up as if needed, and then upload that to your Constant Contact account on the website. And then you can send it there. And then once you send it, nothing gets written back to your ACT record. So with ACT e-marketing, once again, it's built right into the ACT product. You can send to a lookup, you can send to a group, you can send to multiple groups. So, and then the history gets written back to those contacts that you send it to. So it's going to, number one, save you a lot of time. And then secondly, you're going to have all that history to build on for, when you want to market people, you're going to know who to target in the future and who your target market is. Okay, here's a question. So e-marketing is a different product than SwiftPage. Is it another expense or can you use both? I have a subscription to SwiftPage now. Okay, Gretchen, great question. So just a quick history of sort of the e-marketing piece within ACT. SwiftPage e-marketing, which was sort of the original bulk email plugin for ACT, probably 10, maybe even 15 years ago, is still available. You can still use it within ACT. However, they're not sort of developing any more updates for that, so eventually it will go by the wayside at some point down the road. Now, it's not in the foreseeable future, but eventually it will. ACT e-marketing is sort of built on a different platform, to sort of a newer platform, to allow a better mobile usage, whether it be modifying the templates and or viewing the templates once you get those emails. So it's more mobile friendly. So any kind of like development is going into the e-marketing. But once again, you can definitely use both, or you can just use the old one for now and then use the new one down the road. That's totally up to you. But yeah, the SwiftPage e-marketing is still available. Will you cover how the hosted version of 19 works versus hosting it yourselves? Okay. Paul, to answer that question, the main difference there is that as far as infrastructure. So a lot of people who want to host with us instead of hosting it themselves in-house don't have the infrastructure in-house, whether that be they don't have an IT staff, or maybe they don't have a server, or if they have a server, maybe it's not robust enough to handle ACT or web users logging in over the period of a day. Or also just making sure you have Windows updates on that server, making sure you have all the ACT updates as they come out. So those are the differences between hosting yourself versus hosting it with us. As far as what you're going to see and what you're going to get with the product, that's exactly the same. There's no difference there, but it's just as far as, it's more about the maintenance of the server and the software and the database than anything there. What's the difference between ACT Premium v19 and ACT Pro? Charlotte, that question I can actually email you sort of a whiteboard on there, a PDF on that if you like. So if you want to shoot me an email, I can get you those differences. But just real quickly to point out, your Premium is going to allow you to have sort of cloud-based abilities, where the Pro doesn't have that. One other glaring difference between Premium and Pro, for those people who have more than 10 users in their environment, Pro only handles up to 10. You cannot have more than 10 users on a Pro license. Okay, but like I said, if you want sort of a stat sheet on that, please email me and I can get you that. Okay. Can we edit our templates in Word doc extension easily now? From Orlando. You still have to edit your templates through ACT, through Write Edit Template, and then you save it as an ADT file, ACT Document Template file. Okay. When will v19 be compatible with SQL Server 2016? From John. We have heard from other people that it actually can be installed with version 6 or SQL 2016. Right now, though, it's not officially compatible. So if you do have any issues, ACT is not going to support it for you. It's not going to basically help you out with that. So just be aware of that. We have heard of people, like I said, that have actually installed it there, but it's not officially compatible. Okay. I've sort of run out of my time for questions here. I don't want to cut James's presentation short, so I will answer your questions sort of in line there, and if we have time to answer them over the phone here at the end of the session, I'll also answer them then for you guys. Okay, so without further ado here, I'd like to pass along here to James.
Michael, maybe first mention the discounts.
Oh, correct. Thanks, Vic. Yeah, I almost forgot about that. I got too involved with the questions here. For those people that are on today's call, we're offering a special end-of-the-month promotion, and that promotion is 10% off any order you make today. So whether that be software that you purchase today, Handhel Contact subscription, support, any of our VIP support contracts, training contracts, anything like that, you would get 10% off your total order as long as you purchase it today, and the purchase has to be made by 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, James, I'm going to make you the presenter.
Okay. All right, can you see my screen now?
We can see your screen and we can hear you. Take it away.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Welcome everybody. Thanks Michael for the introduction on the v19. What I'm going to showcase today is a number of our Act for Work products. We've got the showcase one that we're using today is Act for Wealth. It's been designed for financial planners. I'm also going to touch on the Act for Castle. It's the Canadian anti-spam legislation component that will automate updates to your database for you, as well as some Act for Support pieces if you ever have a need for a ticketing system or tracking incoming calls, outbound calls. I'm going to show you some of that, as well as the Act for Outlook, Knowtifier. So it's a full demo today that you're going to see. So we built the Act for Wealth product with a lot of automation tools in place. So we've got the standard layouts that we've designed in here, but we've also repurposed a number of the personal info tabs, some identification information, so it's all collected in one spot. You can jump between each of these tabs more easily than having to go down and search for them across the bottom here. The other piece we've added is in a financial industry, other industries who work with multiple people from a household, they have household greetings. So to simplify the household greeting, if you add a spouse name in here, it instantly creates the household greeting for you. If you wanted to record the full name of the spouse and record it as Philip, but you wanted to create the household greeting as strictly Phil, you can go back and edit this and then lock this down so nothing changes. So if I add something into the last name field, nothing will update this field for us. The other piece that gets automated is the through the home address and the business address, we've created an address label. So you can notice that now I have Sarah and Philip McGee as the mailing address label. If I enter a different last name for this client in here, it'll automatically update the mailing for us. And again, I can adjust this label so it actually just says Phil and lock the label down. So if somebody comes along and wants to switch this over to a different address, it will not change for us. But because Sarah is one of our business clients, we just want to track the information on her spouse. We're going to actually switch this around here. And I'm going to actually make this a business label for this contact. And you'll notice it instantly locked the label for me. The reason for that is we've set preferences in the database that you can actually change under the menu up top. That allows you to decide if you're going to use the home or the business address as the default, and it'll automatically do an update for you. So you can decide which is going to be the auto update piece. Once you've created two addresses for a client here, it creates a set of addresses down in an address table. So now we have multiple addresses for a client. So Act as it stands, you get a home address and a business address. With this now, you have the ability to add multiple addresses to a client. So if they have a winter home, if they travel down south for the winter, or they have a cottage in the summer that they go to, you can add the additional addresses in here. You can add whatever types you want in here. So we're just going to add a different address in here for this client. And there you have a third address. So if they're going to be going away for a 6-month period, they're going to go live down in Orlando for 6 months, you can unlock the label. I can actually now just grab their winter home address, switch the address over to the client's mailing in Orlando, and then lock this down. And you simply set a reminder in 6 months when they come back to flip it back to the business address. So you can unlock the label at that point and switch it to a business address. We've built this so it can layer on top of an existing database. So in order to update your entire database to get addresses for all of your clients, we've built a utility up top that you can just do tools, update addresses and labels, and you can run this through the entire database. So it'll automatically create mailing labels for everybody in your database, and it'll create addresses for these clients. So to quickly show you how that one works, I'm just going to grab a subset of clients here. Just do a quick lookup on them, and I'm going to point out that they should not, there's no address labels in here. So if I run this Act for Wealth tools, update addresses and labels, I'm going to choose the home address for these people just for now, and it's going to update the address labels for us. There may not be information, but it tells us there's 5 contacts. It's going to match the number in the lookup, and it's going to update these labels for us. So I noticed that they don't have home addresses on some of them, but they do have business addresses. So you can actually go back and say, okay, I want to change this now. I'm going to give them all a business address. So I can switch it to business, hit OK, and yes. And they've all been updated with a business address. So you can quickly do this for your entire database. And if I look at the one contact record here, if I go into the addresses tab, you'll see now they've created addresses for each of the clients that I just updated. So you have a home and business. The next piece we've got in here, that's a simple piece if you're working on your database and somebody calls you in your middle of working on a project or just busy doing something. We've created this whiteboard. So when somebody calls in and just wants to say, give a quick message, say call the client tomorrow, you can save this information in here. Once you've acted on this for the client, you can actually create a history item. So instantly you click on it, you now have a history item of the whiteboard. And once you've actioned on the whiteboard, you just clear it off and you move on to the next client. You continue working with how you've been your clients for the day. So it's a very quick way. It gets rid of stick notes, pieces of paper that get lost on your desk. You can just add it right to the whiteboard. First thing you go in and check the whiteboard on each client, act on it. If there's nothing there, you're ready to go. The other piece we've created is the ability to have the different services that you offer clients. So from a financial advisor's perspective, and this can be purposed for different services that you offer all of your clients. So if you're in real estate or if you're in mortgage or if you have a home security business and things like that, you can use the services offered that you provide your clients. So we help build a table in here of all the different services that a financial advisor might offer their clients. So they have a KYC meetings, portfolio analysis, tax preparation. So you build this down to the point of deciding who gets what, and then for each contact record you're on, let's grab a new one, you've got a client type, and it matches the different client types in there. So if this client's a gold client, I just click on gold, and now this services offered table populates with the information that you're going to provide the client. You may charge for the services, you may not charge for the services, so we've got a dollar value presented in here, so they're not going to charge this client for the services. So if you're in here and you're going to waive the fee for the client, you can see it instantly zeroes out the value for that client. And you can do this on a per line basis. So if you've got no services or you're not going to charge them, you're going to give them a free service here. The way this is all tied together now is in a service matrix section here, you can add additional components for these clients. Excuse me. So if you wanted to say add an additional item that you're going to provide this client, you want to raise their level, you can actually go into the service area here and we would train you on how to do this, and you can add additional services manually to this client. So I'm going to manually add a service in here. So I'm going to give this client one of our KYC meetings in here. And you can see instantly it's added it up here, but we don't want anybody to change this record in the future. So we're going to actually lock this record down from automatic updates. And the way that works is once we've locked this, I'm just going to save the record. If somebody comes in and they inadvertently click on this and change this field, it comes up with a message blocking you. And it doesn't allow you to actually make any changes to that current record because you've manually updated the offerings in behind the scenes. The other piece we've added in here is the ability to repurpose the companies, because people like to use companies or households when they're working with their clients, depending on the industry. So you can relabel this companies. So in the Act for Wealth preferences again, it allows you to change the labeling here. So I can actually change this to client households and apply this, and it rewrites the label on the left side. So it's a little bit more meaningful to the people that are working with it. The other component we have in here is a layout checker. So if you're working with the Act for Wealth or any of our other Act 4 products, we can set it up so that when you open up your database, you have the issue where you don't see the correct database, you're in the demo database, something appears where it will check to make sure that you're actually using the Act for Wealth layout, and it does it for the groups, companies, and opportunities. We've also added quick notes in here. So for the repetitive tasks that you do in your business, if you're constantly typing the same details into every meeting minutes, every call that comes in, this quick notes will allow you to automate that process. So if you have for a financial advisor, they might get a trade call that would come in. They can predefine all the pieces they need to do for a financial advisor to do a trade. They can also have a KYC meeting where they have all the details of what they need to take with them, the forms, the applications. But it also works for, say, client home inspections. So if you have a security business, you can ensure that you're taking all the right pieces for every home inspection before you do a security, home security system installation. Or potentially for decorators and supplies, you can actually add in different items that you need to take with you. So to show you how this works, if I'm on this client record and I want to book a meeting with them, so I'm going to book a KYC meeting with this client. So I grab the KYC meeting, I go to my quick notes, go to the KYC, oh, sorry, I'm going to move one screen back here. So to the details, there's nothing in here, but if you go to the quick notes and click KYC, I can just say select all and insert, and it drops all the information in there. So you can have pre-meeting notes, post-meeting notes, pre-inspection notes, and you can just add as many as you like in here. So if you want to go in and grab all the information for an insurance review, you can just insert it again. It just drops it in, and you book your appointment, and it's fully available to you to actually see these items for future reference if you're looking at this ticket or this meeting for this client. All right, let me just snooze this. So the other component that we have now that for the Canadian anti-spam legislation, being able to get explicit consent from your clients to actually send them information in the future. So this has been going on for 3 years, started July 1st of 2014, where you could just start the slow drip marketing out there, but now you have to go out and get explicit consent from your clients in order to continue to engage with them. So we built this Act for Castle product that will allow us for any marketing to Canadians. You will want to get this into your database. It allows you to send direct emails to your contacts. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to actually do a quick lookup on my email addresses here. Yeah, let's start with that one. Nope, ends with apologies. So I've got 2 pieces of information in here that allows me to open up and send an email off to the clients here. So you go in and you do your send your emails. It allows you to create the email in here. So we give it an edit template. It's a very simple, straight text. You can't add any advertising, any marketing pieces to it. It's strictly, this is going to go out and just ask them to confirm or deny email communication with them. Once you've done that, you can actually change your signature on the bottom here, again, straight text, and then preview how it's going to go out to these clients. So if I say send emails at this point, it'll save it to the current contact, the current lookup, or all contacts. But I realized, so when you send this out, so I'm going to hit OK here. It's going to send one email out, and the email's now been sent. So I'm going to open up my email. And I should have an email right there. I'm just going to drop it in my demo folder here for now. So when you open up the email from the client's perspective, this is all the text email with the option to click on this link here. So once I click on this link, it's going to take me out to the website, and it's going to ask me to confirm or deny the ability to send or receive emails from Act for Work out here. So I'm going to hit accept at this point. That's all the client needs to do on their end. And now when I go back into my database here, you go into Act for Castle and you say update Castle contacts. And if you watch the field down here for the Castle permissions, it's going to go out and read the information off of the website for me. It updates in the corner. One contact was updated, and it instantly updates saying that I have accepted this email as for Castle permissions. So it's very quick and easy. You can do this for a block of clients. Because you're using your own email provider, you don't want to send this to your entire database in one shot, or you're going to get flagged for spamming people. So you're going to want to break this up into small chunks. And because we have until July 1st, we now have 5 months remaining to get this done, you're going to want to start dripping these out. And we're finding about a 15% or so success rate per first email that we send out to our clients. So you're going to want to start on this very soon. The next piece I'm going to show you is the Act for Work, or the Act for Outlook component. Actually, sorry, I'm going to backtrack. I'm going to go to the Knowtifier. The Knowtifier is a tool that will actually allow you to read through your database, read custom tables. Smart Tasks doesn't allow for custom table reading. So with our address tables, all of the other components built into this database, it allows us to actually read through all of these custom tables that have been created. And I can start sending out emails to clients. I can start generate a renewal report. I can send birthday greetings out to clients in a nice HTML format. And I've also got different reports that will get generated. So I'll show you how these work here. So right now I've got a birthday email, a birthday renewal report. Tells me whose birthday is today, gives me their age, their phone numbers, so you can generate this report on a daily basis for your emails. Excuse me. The other one you've got is for insurance advisors. They want to find out what renewals are coming due in the next 30 days, so they build this renewal report out, and it emails you the information for your clients so you can track down whose policies are coming for renewal, any annual premiums, any subscriptions if you're in a subscription business, or any other types of renewals that you work with. So I've got this information now that's in my Outlook here, and I got an email earlier from Michael, and I want to find Michael in my database, but I can't find him right now. I can't type his name, so Michael's not in my database. So what we've done with this Act for Outlook product now is we've created the ability to actually create contacts quick and easy within our database. So again, go to contact, it doesn't find the client. But if I right click on this and say create contact in Act, I can add this information in here, but then I can also just add in the other information about the client that I want to deal with, so I can update his record. So it pulls in his name, pulls in his email address, and I can just say create contact. So now that I've created him, I can actually say go to contact, and if I go into my record now, he's in my database. So now I want to be able to, again, quickly, I've got a brand new client, I'm going to send an email to Michael, get his castle permissions here, send it to the current contact, and he's going to receive this email, and you've got that information sent for your castle clients. And now I want to I've got Victor in here as well, so I'm going to say create a contact for Victor. We're going to create him and do the same sort of thing. But once he's created, you want to do, well, let's send a couple pieces of information to these people. If I highlight Michael and I highlight Victor, I can right-click on and say create a lookup in Act. So if we switch over to Act, there are my two contacts here. So again, quickly grab the castle email, send the email, send it to the current lookup, click OK. Michael will get two because I didn't realize I'd already sent him one. But that's okay, he can respond when he gets a chance. The other piece I can now take is from this Outlook entry is I can attach this email to Michael's record. So it's instantly sent that email over to his record. But then I can also take this and I can create an activity in Act. So I want to be able to call Michael, I want to give him a shout tomorrow. So I'm just going to set this up as a quick activity. It's going to link to myself and Michael, and I've created this in Act instantly. So if I go to Michael's record, and if I look at the activities, there's the activity to call him tomorrow, and there's the history record of the permissions that have been sent out. And there's the email that I just added in. So again, I'm going to quickly update my castle here. So nobody sent any new permissions back, so hopefully they'll have sent the emails back shortly to be able to accept the permissions here. And you can continue to work on with these clients in here. So it's a very quick way to set up your database to now communicate with clients, look up clients, add information, create activities. And the other piece we built in for people who, say, have help desk situations or they want to track emails via tickets and things like that, I can actually take this email that I just received from Michael and I can actually create a ticket and email from my email. So it's going to log into my database, it's going to go out and it's going to grab Michael Cadlub here. I'm going to minimize this. And it's going to start opening up a ticket for me for Michael to work with. So I'm going to create a ticket here for Michael, and it allows me to assign this to technicians, whoever's going to work with these products. It tells me it's going to be on a roadshow, customer notes, wants a demo tomorrow. Nope. So these are just the little notes that you throw into from the customer, what they've asked for, the technician, what they need to do. and you can track all of this information. You can set a different priority, low, medium, high. We're going to give this a medium priority, and I'm going to save this ticket. So if I look at this button up here, I can edit the ticket here, and there's the ticket that I've got for Michael. If I want to look at all of my tickets that I've got open out there, so there's the different tickets that are open out right now for us to act on and do some work for. So you can actually track your tickets, track your information. So this one's an issue where the backup's not completing. They might need a new password and act. And you can assign, like I said, different priorities to these tickets. The nice part about this is with the Knowtifier, these are custom tables that are recording all this information. When the Knowtifier runs, it'll actually go out and it'll actually send an email out to the client once the ticket is closed. So it can go out and it'll grab some information, gives the customer details, the customer's notes, and the technician's notes. So that it'll email the client the information right after you've closed the ticket out. So the Knowtifier can sit and watch your database, and on a daily basis, it'll go out and send a ticket or send the email confirmation out to your clients. You can also do this on the fly. So if you're creating a ticket for this client, you can actually, I'll just edit the ticket. So once you're on this ticket, you've acted on it, but you need to do a little bit of a follow-up. You can actually just create a follow-up entry from here, and it keeps the details of what the technician will need to do here, what's taken place, and you can schedule it as an outbound call that needs to take place the next day. And again, you can apply quick notes to it. You can pick any of these options in here, apply them. So we're going to say client home inspection here. We'll select all. Again, adding different components into your ticket entries. Once you close the ticket, you just simply click on the closed, hit save, and things can go out. Excuse me. So I'm just going to check again to see if anybody's updated on my castle here. So I've got 2 contacts we're updating. You can just see Michael's accepted, and I believe Vic is accepted. So I'm going to right-click on this. I'm going to look up the permissions and say accepted. So those are my 3 clients who have accepted it. From a compliance standpoint, what you can do now is if you ever get questioned on getting permission from the clients, the first email that goes out to the client, we record a history item in your database. So we say it's a castle permission has been successfully sent. This ID is the unique identifier that is hiding behind the scenes in ACT. So no personal information on your client ever goes out to the web. The only thing that links this client back to your database through the Act for Castle website is this unique identifier. So there's no way they can track this back unless they're able to hack the website and as well hack into your database, which is going to be next to impossible. It tells you the person it was sent to and the date and time it was sent. Once they respond, you also get an additional email sent back or an additional history created in your database that shows that, again, from the ID, the IP address that they sent it from, the user who did, and the permission that they accepted or denied, and the date and time. So from a compliance standpoint, if anybody ever questions you, you've created and recorded the history of when it was sent and when it was accepted or when it was denied. So you're going to be covering yourself. And this can cost anybody upwards of $10 million if they get nailed by a lawsuit on this. So it's something you might want to consider looking at if you're going to be sending out emails to a lot of your clients over the next course of this year. So just going into the Knowtifier for a second here. To build reports, you can actually create the, I'm going to walk through this quickly here. So this will be, again, the training exercise that we would go through, but it tells you which custom tables you're going to look at. So you can look at strictly contact, opportunity, or custom. And once I've chosen custom, it gives me every custom table that I've created in my database to work with. You tell it who you're looking for as their active clients. You're going to look for within the next 30 days. You're going to trigger this whatever day you see fit, Monday through Friday, Monday to Sunday. In the email settings, you pick a title for it, and then you actually create a report. So edit the report columns. These are the report columns that were generated from the database. So you can pick from contact table, all of the fields in your database, and you can also build every table or every field that's in your custom table. And once you've done that, as I had pointed out before, once the email gets sent, it goes in for into your email, and it gives you all the columns that I've chosen. So if you don't want a column in here, you just delete it from the Knowtifier. If you want to add additional columns, this will grow as large as you would like to make it. So that about pretty much wraps up what I had to say today from the Act for Work components. All of these specialized features we can build into any product. If you're looking for a customized solution, we can customize them for you. Again, this is the Act for Wealth product that we've put most of the items into, including a ticketing system as well as the Act for Castle. So this could be layered onto any database. You don't have to worry about doing an export or an import if you have an existing database. So we can work with you and help layer this right on top. So do we have any questions here? Can we dial clients using Skype? We do have a utility that we've built for our own voice system here. There are add-ons that you can get that you can apply to your database, where if you're going to be using Skype or other components, they can build additional linkages between the actual ACT product and the other products that you're working with. All right, so bear with me here. I'm trying to read these questions here. They're very small, so hang on a second here.
You can unlock them.
All right, so for mixed U.S. and Canadian databases, Castle only required for Canadian contacts. The legislation is slightly different in the U.S. In Canada, you need to get explicit permission, and you could actually tie this in, and when you're doing your groups, you would just base your groups and who you're going to send them based on the country that they're coming from. So if they're Canadian-based clients, you would send the Castle permissions to. If it was a U.S.-based client, you wouldn't need to do that. But if you are marketing into Canada, you're going to want to make sure that you're getting yourself covered so that you're not getting get yourself in hot water. All right. Act for Castle, how do I get this? Is this extra? Act for Castle, you can get, if you want to email me, my email address is jyoung@keystroke.ca. And again, it's jyoung@keystroke.ca. And the add-on for the Castle, it's an annual subscription. It is $200 for the subscription. All right. I think that is all the questions. Yep, that's all the questions I can see right now. If you have any more, you can send those over to Michael, and then we can answer them at the end of the demo. All right, so I'm going to pass this over to Vic now, and Vic is going to set up and do a presentation on the Handhel Contact. Over to you, Vic.
Thank you. Hello, can you hear me now? Okay, and my screen?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. All right, yep. What I'll do is I'll talk a bit today about a variety of options with Handhel Contact, and what I'll do is talk a bit about the overview of what we're covering, and I will also show the console piece plus some new features that we've just added to Handhel Contact in the last few weeks. So we'll look at Handhel Contact new features. We'll look at something called HHC Plus. We're going to look at Handhel Contact Secure Plus, some settings, Secure Plus again in terms of pricing, and then I will do a demo both from console and the device. Okay, so first of all, stuff we've added to Handhel Contact is, first one is features, or favorites, sorry. And favorites, what you can do is just, excuse me, like in your native address book, where you can have your favorites, you can also have those within Handhel Contact now as well. The other thing we added was an importing feature using any number of card scanning software. We do use CAM cards, and then we can import it into the native address book and import right into Handhel Contact as well. We also have a new feature called searches, and what you can do there is drill down into your database up to 10 levels to do a search in Handhel Contact and save those searches on your device as well. And then you can also do an email blast to those to that group that you've chosen. And then I'll also show you new exporting features we have. You can export all your contacts, export just any of the searches that you've done, as you can see up here, or any of your favorites as well. So Handhel Contact Plus, what we've done here is occasionally we get requests for people to synchronize large number of contacts. Right now the limit is 15,000, and what you can do is for an additional $20 you can add another 15,000 to that for a total of 30,000, or if you want you can add a total of 30,000 to the original ones for 45,000 contacts at the cost of $35 a year. The reason there is a cost associated with it, because in the initial uploads and syncs, we do have a lot more server requirements. Anytime there's a resend all data, there's more data going through the server, and so forth. Therefore, we've added that option to anyone who wants to take advantage of it. Handhel Contact Secure Plus is a separate product. It's Handhel Contact Plus, obviously, a bunch of security features. Now, people ask, are these security features, do I need them if I'm a regular Handhel Contact user? Excuse me. The security features here are basically part of if you're HIPAA compliant or need to be HIPAA compliant or deal within the financial sector and your carriers have certain data requirements for authentication. And so for security, so the first is user authentication. Every time you open Handhel Contact, you've got to put a password in. The app will lock, and you can set, I'll show you in the console, how you can predetermine how quickly it will lock. You can also disable the Handhel Contact remotely. You can wipe all the data remotely. And the other feature we've added is Handhel Contact has always been encrypted, right from your server through our server and then to your device. But now we also encrypt right on the device itself. We've also increased central management for the Secure Plus, and it's a very safe approach to server access because now you need password to access the server as well. And so all that included with a regular Handhel Contact is $129.95 a year. So now what I'll do is I will go to my console demo. Give me a second while I switch over here. So I will bring up the Handhel Contact console, and as most of you are probably familiar with this if you know Handhel Contact at all, so what I'll show is just a couple things that people aren't aware of. One is if you ever want to troubleshoot and find out if you say you're not syncing, you can just click on HHC user, test login, and then quickly it will tell you whether you confirm whether you're active or not. It says test login is good. I will cancel that, and then you can also do that for app, because sometimes people change passwords and they forgot to change it within Handhel Contact, and that stops the app from working because we are dependent and we have to mimic the passwords that you have in your database. For contacts info here, you can choose, people always ask, can I synchronize other people's calendar activities to my device? And here, we're not syncing all the contacts, so I go through and these are, I can choose any groups to synchronize, or I can synchronize all my contacts. And then when I go to advanced, you can also exclude your cleared activities here, and you can also limit when your activities are starting from. Whether a lot of people don't want their old activities that are past the due date syncing, so they can limit that as well. Now the next thing I want to show you is on the activities feature. Here you can synchronize all of your activities and your custom activities, and then when you go to the advanced, all your act users will be listed here. So if you have permission to synchronize or to see their activities, they'll be listed here, and you just check them off, and then you can synchronize everybody else's activities and then filter it on the device side. So I'll just hit OK for that. And then you can also choose to send previously cleared activities. The main thing, and then we have notes and history, but the main thing I want to show you here that people don't always get full appreciation of is all the fields that we can synchronize. The key to Handhel Contact is that you don't have to scroll through 1,200 fields to find the information you need. You choose which fields you synchronize, and then you can also choose to synchronize drop-down menus. I'll just check. I'll leave that on for now because I don't want it to resync while we're doing the demo. And then you can go through, and so these are all the standard fields in ACT till you get up to, let me just move up here on my screen a little bit. Once you get up to here in home state, postcode, home country, once we get here, these are all your custom fields. And we can go through and you can choose, sorry, the next one down, you can choose any of the custom fields that you have in ACT to synchronize through. So it's very simple to do, and then you could choose the order that you want them in, and then you synchronize them to your device. Now, the only other thing I want to show you before I move to the actual device is the security options with Secure Plus. So here I need a password to sign in. Once I'm in, I have options here. So as an administrator, you can only access this as an ACT administrator and as a secure HHC Secure Plus administrator. So you can go through and, as I said, you can automatically lock the Handhel Contact mobile device. You can set it never device when it goes standby after 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes. So that's determined here at the admin level. And you can also permanently disable Handhel Contact mobile device after 10 failed attempts, all the way down to 1 failed attempt. So you can go through and you determine, so if it's stolen, you want people to try 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. The other thing you can do right here is you can also wipe the data stored in Handhel Contact mobile app when it's permanently disabled. So there's no way the user can get that information back without you opening up Handhel Contact with your password and resending that data to that user. And here, administrative notifications, you can also choose to send an email when Handhel Contact mobile app has been disabled. So after somebody fails to log in, failed attempts, you can send them automatic email. Or when it's switched from disabled to enabled, you can also be sent an email. So it's very safe this way, and these are features that are HIPAA compliant. We worked with a number of companies that were looking for this, and they gave us their requirements, and that's how we built this component of Handhel Contact. So there's, excuse me, there's one other feature I want to show you here, is the restarting of the service. If your computer is not synchronized, you can restart the service, and that will get everything going again, because Handhel Contact runs as a service, so ACT does not have to be open. As long as your computer's on, connected to the internet, it will synchronize. The one cool feature here is we've added to the, rather than having it hidden under tools, we've added here called user stats. And with user stats, once we go in there, we open it up, and here, this takes you right to the middleware, and this will tell you exactly the last time your Handhel synchronized, the last time your computer synchronized, and it also lets you know if there's any data waiting for you. So as you can see, my synchronizing is up to date, but it's a very quick way to see if everything is syncing. So it's the quickest way to troubleshoot when you're using Handhel Contact. So for now, why don't I move over to the device. So I'm working live off of Android device here. And you have to bear with me as I'm going through. The device is always about 3 seconds slower than what I have on my screen. So if I jump ahead, I will try slowing down as I go. So first of all, we'll just open up Handhel Contact. And as you can see, I have Secure Plus on my device. So right now, every single time I open up Handhel Contact, I have to enter a password. So as soon as I unlock that, I can go in and I can see all my menu and ACT in Handhel Contact. So the usual is contacts, calendar, task list, but what we've added new is the searches, the favorites, importing the contacts, and also on the bottom here, preferences and sync status. So what I'll show you to start with, I'll just show you the favorites features. I go here, I open up my favorites, and there you can see anybody who I have tagged as a favorite. So what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll just go to my contacts, and then I'll show you how I can choose what I face. So let's say I'm going through and I need to talk to Alec often. I want to add Alec to my favorites. So all I do you see the star up in the upper right-hand corner? I just click on that, and now Alec is one of my favorites. So if I go back to my main menu, and then I go to my favorites, which is down here. Now, as you can see, Alec is included in my favorites as well. And he's right at the bottom of the screen. We'll just wait for that to catch up for a second. Oh, I might have to restart. Oh no, here we go. It came alive again. So in that way, it's a very quick, easy thing to do with your favorites. Now the other thing I want to show you was the importing. So I will go back to my main screen. As you can see, I have CamCard on my device. So that's free. You have two options when you do CamCard. You can have a free download, or you can download it by a 99-cent version, so it's very inexpensive. Once you have it, all you do is take a picture of the card, and then we go back to Handhel Contact. Open up Handhel Contact. Go back, and then where you see at the bottom of the screen, we see Import Contacts. And there's all the contacts in my native address book. Now we've done it so that the you can sort it so that your latest one you add, if you take a picture of the card, is Adrian. We can just click on Adrian, and we can also select all, as you can see here. And I would just import Adrian, and it says you selected native contacts will be imported, and you go yes. And now we've got Adrian imported into our native or into our Handhel Contact. So if I do a search, and then I search for Adrian, sorry, I was Adrian Wing, and we have Adrian as part of our database. So it's very simple, very easy to use. And now this contact that you have added to your Handhel Contact now synchronizes back to your ACT database. The other thing I want to show you is just a bit of convenience on the home screen. So once you're in your contacts, I can also, as you can see, right now we have first, last name, company name, and the state or province below. What you can do is you can go through and you can sort by first, last, company name, or by state in this case. The nice thing is, well, I'll just leave it on last name, but I can go through and I can choose for the additional field, for the fourth field, I can choose any other field that I've chosen to synchronize to my database, whether it's standard fields or custom fields, and then you can sort by those as well. I'll leave mine on state now because I'm going to do one of my searches using that. So you can choose which field you want to see up there, and also you can sort by that field as well. So let me go back now, and now we'll talk a bit about the searches. In my searches, as you can see right now, I have no searches. So if I just press on my plus button, I can go for, I'll just Ontario customers, and I'll put on here prospects for now. And so as soon as I go down to my criteria, I just click on criteria, and first of all I'm going to go through, I'm going to choose the state or province, and I'm going to choose Ontario. So that's my first filter. Then I want to go through, and I'm going to look for ID status, and then I'm going to choose prospects. So if you have drop-down menus, as you can see, they show up here as well. And once I have my prospect, so that's what I want to filter by, because let's say I have an email I just received that I've got, let's say I'm a mortgage broker and I've got a special that's going to run for the next day or two, special rate I just received. I'm going to send that out to, in this case, my 47 customers in Ontario. So right from here you can see we've got our search. So I will go back here. And then what I can do as well, I can also email my groups in Handhel Contact. My device isn't set up to synchronize here, so I won't go, sorry, not synchronize, but to send the emails, so I don't want to crash anything. So I'll just go back to my searches, and then that is, you can add as many searches as you want. Now the other thing you can do is we can also export contacts. If I go back to my contact list, and I click here on in the upper right hand corner, I have export contacts. So now I can go through, and as you can see, I can choose to synchronize or to export all my contacts, all my favorites, or just this group that I've just searched. And the reason we've added this, this was a request from one of our resellers, and they have many clients in their database, and they synchronize a large number of contacts to their Handhel Contact. But they're running a certain type of Toyota that only allows them to import 1,000 contacts into the phone calling system of the car. And so what you can do here is you can go through, you can do a search, create your group, and you can export just that group into either your native address book or into your vehicle, part of your native address book and part of your vehicle calling system. So in that way, it's very quick and easy that you don't through and just synchronize those you want. You can synchronize all of your clients and do the searches. So it's good for any email blast that you want to send out or a group that you're looking for and just want to keep that as part of your history here. Now the last thing I want to show you is just a couple things on the unit itself. So as you can see, I have the addresses coming up, but what I'm going to search for is actually Peter. There we are, Peter Adams. So the reason I chose Peter is the address we have in here, I will go through and I will do an edit. And so anything I put in here will go back to my ACT database. So I'm just going to save that. And then I'm also going to just click on the address itself, and what happens, it takes you right to your mapping system of your device. So as you can see, I'm 14 minutes 11 kilometers away from my address, and so I will just shut that down. Going through, so anytime you want to click on it, you don't have to go back and to your native address or native mapping feature. You can do that right from Handhel Contact. The last thing I want to show you is on the calendar side. Right now I'm on a one-day view. I like it on the month view. And so as soon as I switch to the month view, you can see whatever day I highlight, you can see the activities associated with that day right below. So if I go to move around to any of the months here, so I've got 2 meetings. I've got 1 p.m. HHC console training, and I've got a 4 p.m. website review. So what I can do right from here, I can click on that activity, and I can go through. I can also clear it right from my device. So if I click the clear button, it says, do you want to clear activity? And if I click yes, it says history has been created. Are these details accurate? I just hit OK. And then I can go through, and right here, I can also schedule follow-up up in the upper right-hand corner. So right from a device, I can clear the activity. I can also schedule follow-up. The other thing I can do is right from here, I can also use my voice to text. In any of the data fields in Handhel Contact, you can use the microphone. Schedule demo for Alice. Dento, it's pretty close. Oh, I better stop talking. Otherwise, it keeps going. So the nice thing is that any of the data fields, in the details fields, regarding fields, you can use voice to text. And we find people that are enrolled use this feature a lot. Everybody really likes it. So with that, that is the demo of Handhel Contact. Now what I'll do is I will go over to the questions, but before I do it, I will go back to my PowerPoint. And the nice thing that Michael mentioned earlier is that anything that's ordered today Oh, first of all, we have 14-day free trial on all the products, the ones that James demoed as well. Just for the people attending this roadshow, you get a 10% discount on the total order. Orders have to be end of the day, by end of today at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. And then we also have contact information here. We have keystroke. You can email sales@kqc.ca. And we also have the telephone number. I will leave that up on the screen. And while I do that, I will look at some of the questions that are there. So let me just... Oh, it's not. Let me just have to minimize that so I can see the... One second while I get the questions up here. Okay, there we go. When we have the when you have the importing of the data, no, it will not duplicate as you go through. We have a duplicate checker in place. And the second question was, can you access and add to the history tab on Handhel Contact? Yes, you can. Histories are automatically created once you call out of Handhel Contact or send an email. But you can also go through. I will just quickly bring that up on the screen here. I will just cancel that, and then I will go to my contacts, and I will open up one of the contacts. Oh, sorry, the screen hasn't appeared here. And then what you can do is you can go to history, and once you have history, I just click on the plus in the upper right-hand corner, and I can create a new history right there, and then I can save it and schedule follow-up to the history as well. So not only will it be automatically created once you do a call or email, it will also be, you can create new histories and create follow-ups for that as well. Can you see a map with all your clients in a postal code? No, you cannot see a map. You can search for all the clients in postal code, but we are working on a way of doing that with a mapping feature. So that is, my guess, will be out in about 3 or 4 months. We have a bunch of other new features that we're adding, like opportunities and other ones. And so one of the things we're looking at is adding a map where you can actually plot a route as well. So the next question is, yeah, I already answered that. I'm sorry. How would you remove a search from the HHC app? It's very simple to do. I will just cancel that on the screen there. Then I will go back to my main screen. And then I will go to my searches. And once I open the search, I just hit in the upper right-hand corner in the buttons, and I go delete search. It says delete search. I will go yes, and my search is deleted. Now I'll just quickly add one item here. I want to show you the emailing system. Sorry, I forgot to show you that earlier. I'll go status ID, and then we'll go with prospect. Save that. Oh, name. Save that. And so when I open it, as you can see, I have the envelope in the upper right corner. I can always also email them. And so I create my email just like do normally. I always put to myself. And all these people will get emails, but it's totally private. And a history will be written to each of their emails, each of their app contacts that you sent that history. The renewal price for Handhel Contact is $79.95, the same as regular. So it's $79.95 a year. And if you, like I said, if you order today, you get a 10% discount on that. So that's it for questions right now. So Michael, do you have anything that you want to wrap up here? what I'll do is
Yeah,
back
Vic.
on this. Yeah, go
Vic,
ahead.
you had a couple questions. I think you missed. There's 3 at the top, top of the duplicate one. If you want to check, maybe scroll up on there.
Okay. Is it possible to sync our Handhel Contact to 2 computers, laptop and desktop? Well, see, Handhel Contact needs to be installed on your main database. So if your main database is on your laptop, you only install Handhel Contact once. You do your own syncing between your laptop and desktop. Handhel Contact will synchronize between, let's say you put Handhel Contact on your desktop. You only install it on one, because I assume that you're syncing between the 2 databases yourself, and that you sync out to your Handhel Contact. The other question is, how is Handhel Contact different from Act Companion? Michael, maybe you want to answer this one. You've done a bit of work on Act Companion.
Yeah, so Act Companion's in its infancy. It just came out with version 19, and we actually didn't show it today just because there's really not much meat on that bone, to tell you the truth. Basically, it's going to show you your contacts on your phone. If you have an Act for Web database, you cannot add contacts, you cannot add activities, and you can only see today's activities. So you can't do a filter and search, this week's activities, this month's activities, or anything like that. So it's basically sort of a view-only app for your phone or mobile device to see your contacts. That's about it. Where Handhel Contact, as Vic has shown you here, it's a two-way street. So you can add things, you can delete things, you can see your calendar for today, the week, the month. You can enter notes, histories, etc. I would say maybe the only thing that Companion might have over Handhel Contact is that it's real-time. So, for example, you enter a contact right now on the web, you're going to see it on your Companion pretty much right away, where the Handhel Contact is going to wait for the sync cycle, which would be, maybe be within the hour or something. But I mean, that's sort of a that's basically its only pro.
You can set Handhel Contact to synchronize every 15 minutes. So Act Companion is only available with the web. We're available with Premium Pro, on-premise, web. It doesn't matter. All right, I think I did answer all the questions now, unless you see another one.
Let me just check here to verify. Looks like that was it. Oh, there was a couple more that came in at the end. What's the latest version of Handhel Contact?
Well, the latest version is, depends on which device you're on. So we have Handhel Contact. Let me just search which one I have on my device. Let me just go back here. I am running 3.02. 3.020. So again, I'm running it on the Android. So if you are on the App Store will automatically, or if you get notifications, you will be notified as soon as there are updates. Couple of the smaller features I showed you today are just finishing up. We're doing the testing on the iPhone, so those will be released as well within one or 2 weeks. All right, so here's the contact information in front of you. So if you'd like to order, please give us a call. And if you have any questions, you can send us emails as well. Great.
Thanks, Vic, and thanks everybody for attending today. As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, we'll be sending out an email tomorrow with links to download the webinar and also to the slide deck as well. And as Vic said, if you have any questions about any of this stuff, email himself, James, or myself, and we can get those questions answered for you. So once again, thanks for joining, and have a great day, everybody.